Hey, so today was a really good day. It was the weekend and we lived it up. That was horrible. I got up at like 10:30 and then I got ready for the day and had breakfast and then me and Nella decided to go into the center because I needed to get a SIM card and she wanted to do some clothes shopping and stuff. And so we went into the center and oh my god, it was such a pain to find a SIM card for me because the first place I went to said, oh yeah, sorry, like ours aren't working right now. Like, I don't know, they just won't work. But you can check out this place down the street. And so I went to the place down the street and I was like, hey, can I buy a SIM card? And they were like, we're all out. And I was like, okay, where can I get it? And they were like, well, there's our partner store and they might have some left. They're over there. And so I go to the partner store and thankfully they have something. And I could have gotten like 45 gigabytes for 10 euros a month or 6 gigabytes for 5 euros a month. But I don't need that much data. Like in the month that I've been here, I've used like barely over 5 gigabytes. And so like I think the 6 gigabyte thing is going to be fine. So I got a SIM card. And then along the way we saw some stores we wanted to stop by. So then after we bought the SIM card and we were walking back, then we stopped by the stores that we wanted to go to in the first place. And so there was this shop that had like clothes and just like random knickknacks, like I don't know, like bags and like slides and like belts and stuff. And so I tried on the shirt, but I didn't really like it and it wasn't worth the price, so I didn't get it. But then, while Nella was trying stuff on, I had some time to kill. And so I looked at the bag section and I'm so happy I did, but the bank account is not happy that I did because I found, there's this brand of bags that's like handmade and it feels waterproof and it can go in the washing machine and like they're so pretty. They're all floral print. And they're so pretty. So I got this like little coin purse. I've been really wanting a coin purse because the wallet that I use now is like just for cards, and so you can't put coins in because they fall out. And so this coin purse perfectly fits my wallet for cards, plus you can put coins in it. So like I love it so much, and it's so pretty. It's pink and flowery, and I really wanted this duffel bag that they had, but I don't need a duffel bag, but I really wanted it. Like, I want literally one of every bag they have. They were all great. And then after that place, we were walking around and I stopped into this shop that was like, all the Asian shops are really cheap. Like, they're called Asian shops just because they're imported from Asia, usually China. But yeah, so we went to an Asian shop and looked around. I got like big needles for ending off knitting projects, but we spent a while in there. We spent like half an hour or longer in that shop because it wasn't like huge, but it was packed. It was packed full of stuff. I don't have a picture, but like there was so much stuff. And so I was looking at all the knickknacks, like the kitchen stuff and the office supplies and like just everything. And then when I was checking out, because I bought the needles, I talked to the lady and I was like, hey, like, do you speak Chinese? Because I was pretty sure I had heard her speaking Chinese with her husband. She was like, yeah, you speak Chinese? And I was like, yeah. Then I did the whole spiel of, I'm from the US, but I'm studying abroad, blah, 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 blah. And like, she was so excited, I guess. She was like, oh my god, that's so cool. Oh, so your dad's Chinese. Oh, blah, 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 blah. And so we talked for a couple minutes and then I left. But yeah, she was so happy. And then after that, we met Valeria. We met her at an empanada shop because Nella and I were both a little hungry. And the empanada was so good. I got this like caramelized onion and goat cheese empanada. It was so good. And then we went to the ice cream shop. And the ice cream shop literally had like a line of 30 people. Like literally 30 people. And so when we got there were 30 people. And then by the time we were in the middle of the line, there were already more people behind us. And so the line was still 30 people long. And it just kept being really long for a long time. But worth it because the ice cream is so good. Today, my choices weren't nearly as good as last time. But it was still really good. I got like custard and mango. But next time I'm getting pistachio and something else, but I'm definitely getting pistachio because it's so good. And then after ice cream, we just went home, and then I did some editing, and we just kind of hung out for a little bit, and I took a shower, called my family. It was so nice to talk to my family. And then Nell and I had to rush out the door because Maribel sent me this link to this thing that was happening tonight. It's called like Blanco y Azul or something, which is white and blue. I don't know. It was basically just shops in the city center, but like instead of shops with doors, it was like stands. So you walk down the road and there are a bunch of stands with like jewelry and clothing and perfume and like little pouches. And so I went there with Nella and Valeria. We left at like 8:15, got there like maybe 8:45, and we were just walking around. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, there was this like parade type thing, I guess. It was like a religious thing with like, I don't know, a virgin like pedestal or something. I don't know what that's called. But yeah, and there was like a full-on marching band, and it was crazy. I'll put a video in. But then while we were there watching the parade, just out of nowhere, these girls that I know from school were like, hey, oh my god, like, do you want to join us? And I was like, sure. And so I joined these girls and their friend group, and they're so rowdy. But it was kind of fun. And so we met some people and walked around with them for like half an hour, 45 minutes. And then they were like, hey, we're going to this party after the parade. Do you want to come with us? And I was like, maybe, like, when is it? And they were like, oh, like 12. I was like, you're going to a party at 12? Oh my god. I don't even get home from parties at 12 because I just don't go to parties. But like, going to a party at 12, that's crazy. Anyway, so we did not go because we wanted to catch the bus so that we didn't have to pay for a taxi. And so after hanging out with them, then we walked back to the bus stop and caught the last bus. It was at like 10:15. And then we rode a bus back home-ish, and then had to walk 15 minutes back home. And then Maribel was out dropping off Gabriel, and so we were locked out because we don't have our own keys. And so we waited outside for like 10 minutes, and then Maribel got home, and then we came in, and we told her about our night, and she was like, why didn't you go to the party? And I was like, well, because like we wouldn't have started until 12, and then we wouldn't have gotten back till like 3 or 4, and she was looking at me expectantly like, okay, and so I was like, well, and like I didn't know what to eat, like I hadn't had dinner, and I don't know, I didn't want to like go to a party and not eat. And she was like, well, you could have gotten a snack and then go party. And I was like, okay. And she's like, you gotta go partying. Whenever your friends ask you if you want to go like to parties, you gotta say yes. You gotta say yes to every plan. So then soon enough you'll have all these groups of friends, and you gotta pick, okay, I'll go with you today and you tomorrow and you the day after. I was like, she did not care that I wouldn't have gone home till like 4 a.m. She would not have cared. Which is crazy, because I definitely would have cared. I'm too paranoid about sleep to be able to go out partying, but I guess I gotta get over it because that's just the culture here. But like, today we were at the center during the day, and then we were at the center again during the night, and there were so many more people at night. Like, nightlife is crazy here. Anyway, so then once we were home, then I came upstairs, I'm recording this, I don't have dinner. It's 11:30 and we haven't had dinner yet, but I think she just called us down, so I gotta go. But yeah, that was my day. Hey, so first of all, I know I look disgusting, believe me, I just went on a run, so I'm aware of how greasy I look, but I've actually really enjoyed the run so much, and I think Nella has too. It's great having a running buddy, and just like running at the end of the day is so nice because it just makes me feel so much more productive and like just rejuvenated. I don't know, it makes me feel so strong and I really like it. And it's also easier to go jogging here than back home because here the sun sets a lot earlier. And so like back home in the summer, which it was probably different like in the dead of summer here, but back home I had to wait until like 9 or 10 until the sun was like weak enough that it was cool enough to go out, because even when it's cold, if the sun is beating down on you, then it feels really hot. And so I try to wait until the UV is like at least 3 or lower, like that's my perfect running UV strength or whatever. I would have to wait until 9 or 10 back home. But here, the UV is at 3 at like 7 p.m. And then like today we ran at 8:30 or 9 and it was at 0. Like it was already completely dark. And so it's perfect because like it was still kind of hot, but with the sun, like with no sun, it was better. Anyway, so this morning I woke up and did the usual. I woke up before everyone else, so I felt like, I don't know, early and productive, or I was feeling early and productive, and so I got ready for the day and got to editing right away. And so I edited yesterday's little vlog, and that took actually a while because yesterday there were a lot of pictures, and then also since it was a new week, I had to reset stuff on the website, and so it took a while, but it was perfect timing because once I was done and ready to go down to breakfast, then Nella was too, and so then we got breakfast. I had just usual toast. They always have bread for breakfast. Always. They have so much bread, and I haven't been having as much bread as they usually do, and I've still been eating so much more bread than I usually do, but I don't know, whatever. And then after breakfast, I don't know what I did. Oh, after breakfast, I was so productive the first half of the day. But anyway, after breakfast, I stripped my bed, remade it, and then I mopped the floor in our room and in the bathroom, and because Nella had swept it. And then I cleaned the toilet and the counter, and then Nella cleaned the shower and the sink. And it's actually perfect because she prefers sweeping and I don't really care. I mean, actually mopping was nice because I didn't have to deal with the dustpan. So definitely next week and maybe the weeks after, she's gonna sweep and I'll mop. And then I'll do the toilet because she doesn't like it, and she'll do the bathtub because I don't like it. And then, I don't know, we'll just switch off the counter or the sink, but it works perfectly. Like, we complement each other, you know? And then after that, I got straight to homework. I was so productive, I'm telling you. I did lingua homework first. Yeah, I did lingua homework, and it was the first one I did was like horrible. Okay, it wasn't horrible. I just didn't like it very much. It was like writing about the main character of this play we're reading, and I didn't get 4 of the answers, but it's just like simple birthday, date, or place of birth. Like, I can just ask for help tomorrow and it should be totally fine. But like the main part I did myself, so that's good. Like I did most of it myself. And then so that was the 6th of 7 prompts, if you're keeping track. And then the last prompt, which wasn't actually the last prompt, I just saved it for last because it seemed easiest, was drawing this scene in 2 different, like with 2 different backdrops, like 2 different contexts. So one is in an orchard and one is in like a church. And so for context, this guy sees this woman and he's like immediately in love with her because he's so beautiful, or because she's so beautiful. She's like a goddess and blah, 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 blah. And the lady's like, ew, you're creepy, get out. And so I had to draw that. And okay, I actually think I did so well because I suck at drawing. So like, what I did today was actually kind of a miracle because like once I've told you what it's about, you can totally see it, right? And if you don't see it, lie. Say you see it. Yeah, you see it. Yeah. And then after that, I was looking at like chemistry notes, just like brushing up on it because my first test is on Friday. I actually think I'm going to get between a 0 and 2 on a scale point of 0 to 10. But that's okay. I've got to start somewhere, I guess. No, I've accepted it. It's actually okay. I've accepted it. I'll just keep getting better. And then, so yeah, I studied chemistry, and things are kind of, sort of, maybe clicking into place, I guess. I don't know. We'll see. But this is impressive. Are you ready? I have memorized, I think, between 20 and 25 elements, like electrons. Like, I've memorized 20 to 25 valence electrons for elements. I'm saying that so bad, but it's impressive, okay? Because what I do is I looked up acronyms for, like, the rows of elements, and so I'm very proud of myself. I'm very proud of myself. So I'm getting it slowly but surely, although the ones that I've done are the easiest ones to memorize, and then now the other ones I have to come up on my own because I can't look them up because they're like, I've tried looking them up and there aren't any tricks, but I'll do it, probably. I'm getting more motivation for chemistry because it's feeling more doable now, so that's good. And then the only other thing I had to do was drafting, or dibujo técnico, but I don't know how to do it, and Cristina told me that she would tell me when she does it, and she told me she would do it today, but I wasn't worried about like checking up on her and being like, did you do it, did you do it, did you do it, can you help me, because we don't even have dibujo técnico tomorrow, and so like I can just ask tomorrow and it should be fine. I'll do it like tomorrow afternoon for homework or something. And I'm actually very proud of myself because me 1 year ago absolutely would have been texting Cristina and like stressing out about it, even though I have forever to do it. So progress. And then after that, so I finished all my homework and then I had nothing to do. And so I was just like watching TV and knitting. And so I watched like 3 YouTube videos and knitting. And so the scarf is coming along, but I'm not even halfway done yet. This scarf is going to take so long. It's going to take like probably 4 skeins of yarn because I'm knitting 2 skeins at a time so that like the colors are intertwined. So that's going to take a while, but it's really pretty, so it's worth it. I just hope Maria likes it. And then, so yeah, I watched TV for a while, too long. And then I was like, okay, I have to do something other than watching TV. And so I was like, okay, I'll read. But then reading is on my phone, so it wasn't that much better. So I only read for like 5 minutes, and then I went downstairs to get a snack because I'm hungry. Or I was hungry. Actually, now I'm hungry too because we haven't had dinner yet. We're about to have dinner. I am losing track here. I'm sorry, I'm going on a tangent. So I don't even know what I went downstairs, I got a snack, and then I asked my mom if she wanted to call because I knew she was going to be going on like a couple hour car ride today. And so I talked to her for like 20 minutes, maybe 20, 30 minutes. And then, not going to lie, I kind of just ranted to her, so I feel a little bad, but she was a good sport about it. And then Nell and I got dressed to go on a run, and then I was like, wait, shoot, we gotta make sure someone's home so they can buzz us back in because we don't have our own keys. And so I knew that Maribel was gone, but I was hoping that Gabriel was there, or here, but he wasn't. So then we had to wait like 10 minutes to go on the jog for Maribel to get back home, which sucks. I really want my own key, but it's like 30 euros, and so they don't want to buy us one, but it's so annoying. But then as we were getting ready for the jog, I told Nella, I was like, hey, like, I'm not really feeling it today. Like, I just feel sluggish and, like, just not feeling it. She was like, that's okay, me neither. Like, and we decided we'll just go slow if we have to. Like, we'll get it done, but we'll go slow if we have to. And so we were running, and I felt pretty strong. I was like, wait, this is going by pretty fast. And then I get to the last little bit, and I'm like, okay, I'm feeling like I have enough energy to, like, run for the last part of it instead of jog. And so we run the last part of it, and then I click stop, and I look at the time, and it's our second fastest time, only 1 second slower than our fastest time. And we weren't feeling it today. I'm so proud of us. And then we walk back, and we get buzzed in because Maribel is home now. And then I go upstairs, take a shower, wash my face. That's why I look so greasy, because my face is red, and then I put facial oil on top of it. So yeah. And then I'm recording this, and then I'll eat dinner, and then get ready for bed like the rest of the way, like brushing teeth and everything, and then go to bed. So yeah. Oh, and it's weird to me that it's crazy to you that eating dinner at 9:30 is weird. That was such a bad way to say that. You think it's really weird to eat dinner at 9:30, but I don't. And that's interesting to me because, like, it's just the new normal for me. I actually really like it. Actually, that's not true. I don't love going to bed with, like, a bunch of food in my stomach, but I also don't mind it. Like, I know people that would hate it, but I don't mind it. So, yeah. Sorry today's video was so all over the place. I hope you enjoyed it anyway. That was my day. Hey, so today was
But today, it started out well. I got ready for the day, got dressed, did the usual breakfast, rode the bus, got to school, and then my first class of the day was Langua, and we had 7 prompts for Act 1, because we were reading a play. And so it was homework over the span of weeks, like it was a lot of work. And I did it all, and I had to use Translate, but like, I did nearly all the work myself. There was just like 4 tiny things that were just like facts that I didn't find, and apparently we made them up anyway. Like literally, we're supposed to make it up because they didn't say it, and so yeah. But I did the homework on my own, basically. Just Translate. I already said that. And then we checked our answers for the first 4 or 5 today, and I got the main idea right of all of them. I just forgot a little detail in my drawing. But I think the rest of them were right, which is great. But the kicker is that the teacher just went around and checked off that you actually did it, but you don't turn it in. And so I spent a lot of time to make sure that it was good quality, and he's not even going to check it. So I asked him if we're ever going to turn it in, and he said, no, you're just going to have that for yourself, because at the end of the unit there's going to be like a test or a project or something. So like, my thoroughness now will be helpful for that, but I don't need to be quite as thorough with this next section of the play, I don't think, because I spent a long time on it. And anyway. And then after that, or actually before we checked our answers, we were given half an hour to write like a paragraph, like basically the equivalent of a paragraph, on our opinion on like dialects and stuff. There was a more specific prompt, but so since it was a class, I didn't take out my phone because phones aren't allowed. And if I asked, you might have said this, but I wanted to see if I could do it without Google Translate. And so I wrote the whole thing without Google Translate in the amount of time he gave us. So I did the same thing as everyone else. And although I'm sure the writing quality isn't nearly as good as everyone else's, still, like, I think I did really well. So I'm proud of myself for that. And then after that, we had PE, and we basically did pacers and sprints. And I thought I was done with pacers in 9th grade, but then in 10th grade, I had to do it for badminton, and now I have to do it in Spain. And I'll also probably have to do it in badminton again, so I don't think I'm ever done with pacers. They're just gonna follow me through life and taunt. Anyway, it actually wasn't that bad. I did pretty well. I ran like more than average for the girls. Like I was either the last or one of the last girls running in my section, and then there were girls in the other section that beat me, but like I'm pretty well. So, and then sprinting I did bad, but like it doesn't matter. So it doesn't matter. I was talking to people, so I was I talked to a couple of people, but you know what? Progress is progress, you know. Then after that, I had physics and chemistry. Well, yeah, but right now it's just chemistry. And I didn't understand anything, but I copied it down. But I'm getting somewhere. I'm still working on memorizing the valence electrons, and yeah, nothing new there. And then recreo, I spent with Marta, Ana, Nerea, and Pia. And I didn't talk like a lot with them, but I was with them and like listening to their conversation. I'm getting better at understanding things actually, because like listening to them talk really fast, just I'm getting it more, so I keep up with the conversation more. So that's exciting. And then the girl that invited me to the party on Saturday, her name is Josia, I think. She's really nice, and although she's not in my class, she's in my classroom a lot because her friends are in my class. And so like before school, we were sitting and talking, and then like we walked out of the classroom together on like after school because our classrooms were next to each other for our last period. And so she's really nice. So that's really cool. And then back to chronological order. After the exam, I had English, and English was boring. We just had this worksheet, and I did it like, so basically we're given the English definitions, and you had to write it in Spanish, which is easier for the Spanish students, but for me, I have to come up with the definition instead of just like I had to do it the harder way around. But it was fine because somebody like gave me the answers at the end anyway. And then they have English homework, but I asked the teacher, and I don't have to do it, which I mean it would be stupid if I did, because I don't have to do it. And then after English, I had philosophy, and philosophy I thought was going to be really boring, but the teacher printed out tests from last year, and she was like, hey, this is practice test, we'll do it in class, don't sweat it, if you don't know the answer, you can just write your notes, and we'll also go through it after, give you time to do it yourself. And it's okay, no pressure, just to see where I'm at. And so, we had only learned about half of the topics from the test of last year, but from that half, I got one wrong of the 12 or 15 that we checked, without using my notes, without using Google Translate, and without asking for help. I think that's, I'm really impressed with myself. I'm really proud of myself for that. And the one that I did get wrong, I think if I had just read the question more thoroughly, I would have gotten it right. It was kind of a silly mistake. But on an actual test, I would check my answers. So, I think if that was an actual test, I would have done even better. So I'm really proud of that. And then after philosophy, I had technology. And turns out the circuit that I finished over the weekend, I got the wrong answers, but only because I copied down the wrong circuit. Either I copied it wrong, or Christina drew it wrong. And so, I think I got the right answers for the circuit that I drew. But then, since they were going over it in class because people didn't understand it, she was going through a whole process to explain to people. So I didn't look at the board and I didn't listen to him while he was explaining. I just copied it down and did my work, the work for the same circuit, just on my own. And I looked up for one step, just a hint, wasn't the entire step, just a hint of what to do next. And just with that, I wasn't even stuck. I just subconsciously looked up. And then with that, I was able to do the entire rest of the circuit board on my own and got the right answers. So I love technology so much. It just makes sense to me. I really enjoy it. And so we got one for homework, and I did it not easily, but I just thought it out and I got the answers. And so I'll be really interested to check my answers on Thursday actually, because we don't have class and then something interesting is happening, but you'll hear about that later. But yeah, I'll be interested to see if my answers are right, because I'm pretty confident that they are. And then after class, like I said, I walked to the school gate with Dorothea, and then I waited for the bus, got on the bus, talked to Paula and Atenea, and then went home Manila, got home, had lunch, did some homework. Someone texted us that we were supposed to meet her at the train station at 7, and so we were like, okay, guess we're doing that. But the good thing is that the coffee place is near the bus stop for a line that goes to the train station. So it's okay, I'll just go to the coffee place and then we'll go to the train station. So I'm getting ahead of myself here. After lunch, I did some homework. I can't remember what I did. Chemistry, something else. And then I braided Nella's hair. This is her favorite hairstyle, so you'll be seeing a lot of it. Or maybe I'll stop, I don't know. But yeah, it's her favorite hairstyle. And then we left to go to the coffee place. And I got the second part of the play printed out so I can put in the definitions wherever I need to. And then went to the bus stop, caught the bus to the train station, had a meeting for 45 minutes or an hour, and that went not very well, but I'm not going to talk about that. And then came home. I called my mom for a while, and then after that, I needed some, and then had dinner. Dinner was a little bit later today. It was 9:50, and so yeah, we had dinner, and then I left right after, and it's 10:38 now. So I'm recording this, and but dinner was nice. I just, ate in front of the TV with Dylan as usual. But it was nice just, having a routine. And the call with mom really cheered me up, so I'm doing fine now. And then, so I'm recording this, and I'll get ready for bed, and then go to bed. I read my book because I really liked it, and I don't know if I told you this, but Molly and I have very similar book taste, and so we geek out together, and I love it so much. And so I'm reading a book that we've been wanting to read for a long time, and I'm really enjoying it, so I would definitely encourage her to try to get it. Yeah, I think this week's YouTube video is going to be a long one because I keep recording long video journals, but yeah, that's my day.
Hey, so I don't know what happened with the audio yesterday, but I think and hope it should be fine today because I tested it earlier, so hopefully it's okay. But I have a lot to go over, and I need to go to bed, and the YouTube video is already going to be really long, so I'm going to go fast. Today, I woke up, got ready for the day. I've been just kind of feeling homesick lately, and there have been some bumps in the road here, which doesn't help, but I'm feeling better about it, and I had a conversation with my host organization and my mom today, and so that helps a little bit. And school helps because school is getting better. People are talking to me more. They're treating me more like a classmate now instead of just some foreigner they don't know, so that's really cool. But so I woke up, got ready for the day, breakfast, bus, got to school. My first class of the day was dibujo técnico, so drafting. And we learned some stuff and drew some stuff, and then we got some homework assigned. It was just one problem, but it's our first homework assignment that's actually going to be turned in, evaluated, and so I was like, that's scary. But yeah, so that was dibujo técnico, and then after that I had philosophy, I believe, and philosophy was kind of boring, but it's okay. I like the teacher. I don't not like the teacher, and she's not super boring. She's pretty average, but it was fine. And then after philosophy, I had English, but the English teacher wasn't there, so actually we didn't have class. And usually when the teacher isn't there, instead of having a sub, it's called guardia. So a different teacher subs for them, but there's no lesson plan, there's no work you have to do, it's just free time with a teacher there. But since our English teacher didn't tell anyone that she wasn't going to be there, or at least not in time or something, there was no teacher, so it was just students in a classroom being rowdy, and it was crazy loud, as per usual in a Spanish school, but it was fun. And then so during English period, I worked on the homework for dibujo técnico, and I was pretty sure I knew what to do, so I started doing it. I was drawing the triangle and doing the things. So basically I had to construct a triangle, and then for that triangle find 3 different points that I would then connect in a line. And so the way to test if I did it right is if the 3 points connected in a line, because obviously if it's staggered, then I did it wrong. And so I started it, and other people were starting to do it too, and Cristina was starting to do it, and hers looked completely different from mine, and so I was like, okay, one of us is wrong. And so I double, triple, quadruple checked my work, and I was like, no, I'm pretty sure I'm right. She was like, I don't think you're right. And I was like, well, I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing because I'm pretty confident I'm right. And so I finished it, and I got the 3 points, and they were a little bit staggered, but only by half a centimeter. And so I was like, okay, well, I guess it's good enough, but I'm gonna take another look later. And so I set it aside, and then I looked at it again after school, but we'll get to that. And then after English, recreo, and today during recreo, after I had my little sandwich, because everyone has sandwiches, but when I say sandwich, I mean literally a bunch of bread, tiny bit of meat, bunch of bread. It's not an actual sandwich. It's basically bread with some meat on the side. But it's fine. I had chorizo today. I did the teteo without even thinking. Guys, I'm training Spanish. And then, recreo. And I started to learn a Sevillana, the dance, which is, you guys know it as flamenco, but in flamenco is a genre, and there's a bunch of different types of flamenco. And so I learned Sevillana, which is what you usually think of when you think flamenco. And so I learned the first 2 parts of a 4-part dance. Just the footwork, not the arms, but I'm getting there. And so this girl, Ariana, taught me. And yeah, so that's cool. And then after recreo, I had math. And math made me really confused because we're learning something I already know, but in a different way. And so I felt really lost. But tomorrow we just have work time to like practice stuff. So that'll be okay. And then after math was chem. And in chem, we had like 21 review problems to see like where we were at. And of the 21, I got 7 partially right, and 5 of which were like mostly right. Like there are 2 names for one compound. I forgot that there were 2 names, but the name that I did write down was correct. And then the other one was like easier than the one I did. So I'm learning, guys. I got like a third of them right, basically. And now I remember about the second name. So on the test, I'll write the second name. But also at the same time, she'll probably make the test harder than the review. So I'll have a lot of fun on Friday. And then after chem was lengua. And lengua was kind of boring, kind of interesting. I don't know. It was a weird experience. We learned about different dialects and stuff. It was interesting to hear like how easy it was for the students to figure out, okay, that person's Argentinian, that person's Chilean, and that person's Spanish. I was like, wow, they all sounded exactly the same to me. And then, so then I had 20 minutes of waiting for the bus after school when I talked to Paula and Atenea, because their school is like a block away from mine, and so they walked to my school after school gets out, or after class gets out, and we wait for the bus together. So that's really nice of them. And then we got on the bus, and I was talking to them, and then Nilla got on the bus, and then we got home. Well, we got off the bus, and then walked from the bus stop home, and then had lunch, and then I did homework. I did dibujo técnico. Turns out, it's kind of hard to explain, but basically I made a mistake that was very easily fixable. It was fixable. It was easily fixed. So I fixed it. But yeah, so I fixed it, and then the 3 points lined up perfectly. I'm so proud of it, and I'll post a picture because I'm very proud of my work. And I was added to a group chat of the people that are on the like technology route of science, and there are only 10 of us. But yeah, and someone was like, hey, has anyone done the homework? It's like, I can't figure it out. And then someone else was like, yeah, I can't figure it out either. Someone else was like, yeah, I can't figure it out either. I was like, I got you. So I sent a picture. I was like, hey, this is what I did, but I don't really know if it's right. And then someone said, no, that looks right to me. And the other person was like, oh yeah, wait, I think you're right. And I was like, thanks, guys. Thanks. And so, yeah, turns out I was right because everyone else ended up getting the same drawing as me. So I'm getting it. I think other people have like a bit of an advantage over me because they've had like a very basic background introduction to drafting. It's just me and this one guy who don't, but I'm catching up, so that's cool. And then after dibujo técnico, I don't remember. Oh, I did math, but it was just like setting up a worksheet for tomorrow. And then after that, I studied After that, I did lengua, and lengua is reading Acts 2 through 4 and answering 8 prompts about it. And so I read Act 2 and answered the 2 prompts that go with it. And it wasn't that hard. Like, maybe I was speaking too soon because I still have 7 prompts left, but it wasn't that bad, guys. What's happening? And then after that, I studied chem, and I was supposed to memorize another row today, but I don't think I did. The acronym is Football Club Barcelona y Atlético, but I don't know what it stands for. Nope. Whatever. I'm not gonna try. This is wasting time. And after that, I had a call with my host organization and my mom to talk some stuff over. And then I went on a jog, and Nella was out with friends, so it was just me today. But I went on a jog, and guess what? I got my fastest time ever. So I ran a 2:38 is crazy. I ran a 12:38 2K, which is still slow, but progress. And like, I was sore, and so I didn't think I would do that well, but I just kept running and listened to my audiobook, and then I was done, and I was like, I beat my old record by 4 seconds, so that's cool. And then I took a shower, had dinner. It was fish again, and peas. Maybe peas are growing on me. It's weird. I've always hated peas, but maybe I like them now. And then I went upstairs, and then I brushed teeth, and then I'm recording this, and then I'll put lotion on my face, and then I'll go to bed. Yeah. That's my day. Hey guys, so I think we just need to accept that this is gonna be a long YouTube video because I have a lot to talk about again. So I woke up, got ready for the day, got dressed, breakfast, went to the bus stop, got to school, and then my first class of the day was Proyecto de Valores, which is like the non-religious religion option, and the class is literally just a free period, like it's always just work time. And so I worked on lengua homework, and he wouldn't let me use my phone even for Google Translate. He felt bad about it, and he thought it was like, he knew it was for schoolwork, but he still couldn't let me use my phone, which is not true because other people have let me use my phone for Translate. But whatever, because he ended up offering his computer, so that was cool. So I ended up being able to do lengua homework. And then after that was chemistry, and in chemistry we had a practice test, and I got 6 correct out of 40. So I think we know how I'm gonna do on the test on Friday, but I talked to this girl, and she got 5 out of 40, and this other guy got 7 out of 40, so at least I'm not alone in this. I'm definitely gonna study some more before the test on Friday, but I've just accepted that I'm not gonna do very well. And then I had dibujo técnico, and we moved on. So we've been doing like triangles, and then we moved on to quadrilaterals today. And I just messed up the drawing a little bit. Like, if you just look at it, it doesn't look bad, but like if you actually test it, it's a little off, which kind of sucked, and it took me a long time to draw it too. And so yeah, that was a little disappointing. And then the second one I had to finish at home, but it's also a little bit off. I don't know why. And then the teacher also checked my work for the first one. It was like, it's a little off, but we'll see how the next one goes. And so I was like being as precise as possibly could be with the second one, and it took me so long. It took me longer than usual because I was trying to be really precise about it. But it's hard because if you mess up, you can't just erase the whole line because that goes through other lines that you still need. And so you have to like erase around it, but then it looks messy. So yeah. And then after dibujo técnico was recreo, and I learned some more Sevillana. So now I know the first 3 parts, still without the hands or arms or whatever, but I'll learn it. And then after recreo, we had this protest for a new building. And so basically all of the classes for 4th and 5th hours, periods, but they save hours, had class outside. So like we all brought chairs outside and we were doing work outside. So I had math and it was just this worksheet because they can't teach with all the traffic. And then after that I had technology and just did work in that too. And math is, I know all this stuff, I just forgot about it. I forgot it, but then relearning it, I'm relearning it in a different way, and it's just making me confused, and it's making me feel a little bit lost, but I guess that's to be expected, being an exchange student. And then my last class was PE, and it was so hot, and we had already been outside for 2 hours, and so everyone was so hot. But we've been doing fitness tests, so I did pacers a couple days ago and sprints, and today we did push-up, and I got average for push-ups, and then we did crunches, but I didn't realize how little time we got for crunches. I thought we got a minute, but we got 20 seconds, and so I did not go as fast as I could, and so I got below average for that, but whatever. And then we did long jump, just planted feet and then jumping as far as you can, and I got average. So cool. But there was this guy who jumped so much further than the above than the highest distance written. He was flying. It was crazy. And then after school I talked with Paula and Atenea, and then Nella and I rode home and then walked home. And then Maribel and Gabriel were both out, so Nella and I had to wait outside in the heat for 10 minutes to be let in because we don't have our own keys. But then we got in and I had lunch, and then I took a shower and then did homework for a couple hours, not very long, because we ended up going dancing. So originally Maribel and I were planning to go to 2 lessons that started at 8:30 and 9:30, but Nella wanted to join us, so then we ended up going to one that started at 7:32, so then we left a little earlier than originally planned, and so that's why I couldn't do as much homework. But then we went to the studio, and I changed outfits, so I looked fancier. And then so it was level 1 salsa, beginner salsa, and it was a little boring, but that's okay. And then the second one was technically it was the next level up, but it was a big jump, and so it was actually interesting to me. And so I was dancing, having fun, and it was really hot, but oh well. And so it was fun dancing salsa. I forgot how much fun it was to dance, even though it's only been a month, but it was really fun to dance again. And then everyone was old, I'm used to. They were 50 or above. Everyone, I think, was 50 or above, other than this one girl who was mid-20s, I would guess. And she knew everyone, and so I was okay, she's definitely a regular, and she's probably really good. And so I saw her dancing, and she definitely could follow. But she wasn't oh my god, she's amazing, But then, so we made eye contact a couple times, and I saw her bopping her head and mouthing to the words of a song, and so we smiled at each other. And then after class she came up to me and she was like, "Hey, what's your name?" And I was like, "Kayla." And she's like, "How old are you?" And I was 16. She's like, "Well, you dance really well, your styling is beautiful." And I was like, "Oh my god, thank you so much." She's like, "Yeah, of course." And then of course I said, "Well, you're such a good dancer too," and blah 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 blah. And so we talked for a little bit, and then before I left she was like, "Really, you should keep coming back because your dancing is just so pretty." And I was like, "Thank you so much." And so I ended up just going after the salsa lesson because the next lesson was kizomba, which I don't know, and I think it wasn't beginner, so I wouldn't have been able to do it anyway. But also Nella had to wait for me for the second lesson because she doesn't know salsa well enough to do the second lesson, so she was just waiting for me, and so I just left after that one. And then we walked home because it's not that far, 15 minutes, and then came home, had dinner, watched a little TV, and then I came up here to do this video. And I thought I would get to bed really late, but it's actually not too bad. It's 10:40 and I still have to get ready for bed and go to bed, but I'll be in bed by 11 and then probably go to sleep half an hour later than usual. But Oh yeah, another thing, I've been averaging like 7.5 hours of sleep, which is absolutely not what I'm used to. At home, I get like 8.5 to 9. And 8 is like a bad night's sleep for me. But I've been surviving on 7.5 fine. It's so interesting to me how, like, I don't know. Like, I'm still paranoid about sleep, but somehow getting 7.5 hours is okay. Like, I don't know. It is interesting. So, yeah, that was my day. Hey, so today really this past week, I've been dealing with a little bit of homesickness. It doesn't really hit me until I'm not, like, as happy with how things are going in my home. Like, it can be even the tiniest thing, or not my home, but, like, just in Spain in general. It can be the tiniest thing, like, not understanding a math problem, and I'll just, like, miss home a little bit. But it's been getting better, and, like, the runs help a lot. So that's good. But anyway, I woke up, got ready for the day, got breakfast, all that, rode to school. Oh, about riding to school. So I'm reading this book that Amalia and I have both been wanting to read, and it's really good. And so I've been reading it like everywhere I can. And so I was reading it on the bus and I missed my stop. So I had to get off one late and then walk to my school. And luckily I made it there on time, but like I was stressing. Like I get so stressed out over the tiniest things, and it's such a bad habit, I guess, and I'm trying so hard to break it, but oh my god, it's hard. Like in my head I was like, oh my god, like I missed my stop, I'm gonna be late to school. And then I was like, wait, no, I get to school 20 minutes early every day, I'm literally gonna be fine. But then I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna have to walk super fast and I'm not late to school. And I'm like, no, I'm gonna be fine, like calm down. And all of this was just like back and forth in my head. I get too stressed out too easily. But then my first class, and obviously I made it to class on time, and my first class of the day was math. And I have decided I don't like math in Spain because it's just so weird. Learning things I already know in a different way, it just makes me more confused and it makes me feel so lost and makes me feel bad. So I don't like math here. But oh well. And then after math I had dibujo técnico, and I did a lot better on the stuff today than yesterday. So that's cool. We're doing quadrilaterals and stuff still, and I'll post a picture because I think it's cool. And then after dibujo técnico, I had tecnología, and filosofía. Philosophy. I think I had philosophy. No, I had tecnología. My bad. I had technology, and we went over a problem that I did yesterday, and surprise, I got it all right. And I think a lot of other people either got it wrong or couldn't figure it out, so good for me. But tomorrow we're starting something new, like a more complicated new topic, so I'm a little scared for that, but it'll probably be fine eventually. I just have to not stress out about it, as I tend to do. But I think we all know that I'm going to end up stressing out about it. And then after tecnología, I had recreo, so break. And so I ate my sandwich, and then I sat and talked with Ana and Marta. And then Rocia came in, and so I was talking with, and so I said hi. And I have been spending recreo with Rocia and I can't remember her name. And they've been teaching me Sevillana. But I was already sitting with Marta and Ana, so I just stayed with them. And so we talked for a little bit, and then most of the way through recreo, they got out some cards, and so we played a game. It was kind of like BS, but it was a little bit different. And if you don't know what BS is, it's basically is bluffing. You have to put down a card, and it's basically bluffing, and so you have to feel out if the other person's lying. And that was fun. And then after recreo, I had oh my god, I'm all messed around. No, I had math, and then technology, and then philosophy. I'm so sorry. So math, you know what I did. Technology, you know what I did. And then in philosophy, we just read notes, and it was really boring, and I almost fell asleep. But then recreo woke me up. And then after recreo, I had lengua, so like Spanish, and that was also very boring. And stuff that I thought wouldn't be on the test, turns out it is on the test, so that's fun. And then dibujos, and you know what I did in dibujo técnico, drafting. And then last class of the day was English. And English was also boring. School is just kind of boring. Like, it's all lecturing, but most of the teachers aren't very good at lecturing, so then it's just boring because I'm just sitting there, like, trying not to fall asleep. Like, my eyelids are just getting heavier and heavier. But I power through. We power through. I haven't fallen asleep yet. Hopefully I won't, but I'm honestly not sure. And then I had to wait 20 minutes for the bus, and then during which I was talking with Paula and Atenea for a little bit. And then we got on the bus. Nella got on the bus. We rode to the bus stop and then walked home and then got let in because someone was home today. And then had lunch. And then I made the mistake of watching YouTube for 15 minutes, and then that just like totally got me in this like technology fog, or like, you know, just like that phone mental fog. And so then I started homework, and like I had that fog, but I powered through and I got some stuff done. I did dibujo and something else. I did lengua, and I studied for chem because the test is tomorrow. And it's really hard for me not to get super stressed out about the test, even though I know I'm going to do bad, and I know I'm expecting to do bad because I'm 3 years behind everyone. But still, I'm like, I gotta study, I gotta get all this last minute studying, and I gotta be perfect, and I gotta have all the valence electrons memorized. But I'm gonna try to not stress out about that anymore. It's probably not gonna work, but I'm gonna try. And then, see, I stressed out too much. And then so I didn't actually have that much homework today. Like, barely anything was assigned, and then I just worked on the lengua stuff that's due on Monday and studied for chem. And so all that only took like 2 hours. And so, because I've been having like 3 to 4 hours of homework every day because I'm trying to be really thorough and keep on top of it. And so usually that takes me, like, my homework takes me into either running time or like I chill for a little bit and then have dinner. But today I had 2 extra hours, or 1.5, 2 extra hours. And so I read for like half an hour or an hour and knitted some and had a snack. And then I started watching YouTube. And even before watching YouTube, I like had a little bit of a brain fog just from like, I don't know, being tired or something. And so I watched like long form YouTube videos, which are better than short form YouTube videos in terms of like for my brain. But it's still just, I wasn't feeling it. And then I got a little homesick because I just wasn't feeling it at home or in Spain. I was like, man, like, oh, I wish my home, I miss my cat. I miss my cat. And of course, I miss the people too. Yeah. No, I do. I miss the people, but my cat. And then, so I was just not feeling it. And then at 8:30 came around. I was like, okay, cool, time for a jog. So I got dressed, and I was like, wait, is anyone even home? Because Maribel had gone on an errand or something. But Spanish people are not very specific about how long things are going to take. So she was like, okay, guys, I'm going to be gone for a little bit. She ended up being gone for 1.5 hours or 2 hours. That is not a little bit. Not a little bit. And so then Nella and I had to wait for like 15 or 20 minutes before we could go on a jog, because otherwise we would have gotten locked out because Gabriel was gone too. And so it's really, really frustrating that we don't have our own key. But I understand that it's expensive, but it's still really frustrating. And just like already being in a bad mood, I was unhappy having to wait. But then we went on the jog, and since I was so frustrated, I tied yesterday's high score, so I guess that's cool. And then after the jog, I felt a lot better, of course. And then I took a shower, went down for dinner. Dinner was actually pretty good. It was this like soy veggie burger situation with like peas and sweet potato like chunks. I don't know, but it was good. And yeah, and then I came upstairs and I'm recording this, and then I'll get ready for bed and go to bed. So yeah, I think that was everything from my day. Hey, so even though I went to Europe recently, well, like other than Spain, and was up for literally 24 hours, I think this feels like the longest day I've had in a while. So I woke up, got ready for the day, went to school. My first class of the day was English, and it was boring and we didn't really do anything. And then I had dibujo técnico, so drafting, and it was cool. We learned stuff and like drew stuff, and it was cool. And then I had technology, and you know how yesterday I said that we were learning something new today? Well, we learned it and it makes sense, and I got everything and I really like it. And I was the only person who managed to actually solve the equation because everyone else forgot how to do substitutions. But yeah, anyway, so I like it and I get it and I'm good at it. And then I had recreo and I just talked to Rothia the whole time. And then after recreo, I had math. And it was boring. We were learning logarithms, and I already learned logarithms, so like, I don't know. But people were impressed, I think, when I knew what the logarithm base 1/2 of 8 was, -3. And yeah, like they were surprised that I knew it just from my head. And then after math, I had chemistry. So I had the chemistry test, and I think it definitely went better than I thought it would a week ago. And I think it went about what I was expecting. I don't know what my score is, probably like a 1 or a 2, but that's better than a 0.5, like I said last week or earlier this week or something. And then my last class of the day was lengua, and it was boring, but it was okay. And then I rode the bus back home, and then came home and ate lunch, and then did some homework. I didn't have much homework assigned today. Like there wasn't much new homework assigned today. And so I just did the drafting assignment that we had. And then I did English, and so I finished all of the work for the assignments due on Monday. And I think I did all the homework like that I have. So that's cool. But then I have a math test on Friday, so I'll probably study for that. And then I have a philosophy test the following week, so I'll probably study for that too. But it just feels so good to not have to do anything, you know? And then at like 6:30, I left to walk to the bus stop. It's like 15 minutes to the bus stop. And then I rode like 50 minutes to Área Sur, which is like the big mall. And then I met up with Rothia and then her 2 friends, Valeria and Miriam. I had only met one of them before, and it was only very briefly, so it was her and 2 people I really didn't know very well, or really didn't know at all. And she was shopping for her boyfriend's birthday tomorrow, so they were like finding a gift for him, and they were all friends, so then they split the cost because the gift is coming from all of them. That's not important. Sorry, I'm really tired. And at first I was like, I didn't really know what to do or how to act or what to say, but then I warmed up to them a little bit, and I ended up having fun, and they're crazy, but it's cool. And then after the mall, then we went into more like the city center and met up with a bunch of people, like 20 or 30 people just on the street. And at first no one was really talking to me, like they were all just like doing their own thing, yelling. And then word got around that I was a foreigner, an exchange student, and then people started like flocking me and talking to me in broken English, and I had no idea what they were saying in English. They were better off speaking Spanish. But yeah, they are even crazier than the 3 girls I was hanging out with, but it was fun. And then they left, and then me, Miriam, Valeria, and Rothia left to go to the train station to pick up one of their friends, except on the way I decided that I didn't want to wait to get a ride with them back home because they wouldn't go home until like 11:30 or maybe even 12:30. and that's just too late for me. Like, I know I'm trying to get used to the Spanish lifestyle and everything, but I was already tired. So then at 10:30 I decided, okay, I'm gonna take a bus, and so, or it was 10:15, and so I walked 15 minutes to the bus stop, and then catch the bus at 10:30, and then I took so it was the last bus, which meant that it didn't bring me all the way to my house because the little circuit ended before it got to my house. And so I rode the bus for like 20 minutes, and then it dropped me off, and then I walked like 20 minutes, and then my host mom texted me, and like, anyway, basically she ended up picking me up, and so I felt a little bad that she had to do that. But I'm new to the city and no one was with me, so to be expected, I guess. But she wasn't upset. And so then she brought me home. Then I had dinner. It was pizza, homemade pizza. It was really good. And yeah, and then I came up here and I'm recording this, and I'll go to bed because I'm really tired and I can't sleep in as late as I want to tomorrow because we have like a brunch thing. But yeah, it's 12:15 and I need to get ready for bed and go to bed, and 12:15 is like late for me and it's early for everyone else. Like, my friends are probably still out on the town right now, which is crazy to me, and I don't know if I'll ever get used to it. But I'll try to stay out later next time, maybe. We'll see. Also, I got my first assignment from drafting back, like the one that I turned in. I got it back and I got a 10 out of 10. So that's really cool. And also, yesterday, when I had downtime, I felt guilty for not doing anything, like just reading instead of, I don't know, studying Chinese or something. And like, I don't know, I have FOMO, but then also like fear of not doing something when I'm supposed to be doing something. Like, I worry too much. But even acknowledging it doesn't help. But anyway, that was a tangent. Overall, I still had a good day. I just really want to go to bed now. So yeah, that was my day and that was my week.